What's going on, everyone? This is Erik from Full Man MMA, and today I am joined once again by UFC welterweight contender Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Stephen, how are you?
Doing great, man. Glad to be on with you, brother. Good to see you again.
It's always good to talk to you. Real quick, before, obviously, you've been doing a lot of media recently, pushing for really just any fight in the top five, but particularly a title fight. And we're going to get to that in just a second. But I wanted to get your reaction to some surprising news yesterday that the UFC released Junior Dos Santos and Alistair Overeem, two heavyweight legends. I was just wondering if you had anything to say about that.
Man, I just know that, of course, their last few fights have hadn't gone the way they wanted it to go. But two legends, man, two legends in the sport. To be honest with you, those guys have been in some wars, man, and their legacy will live on for sure. But I think it's time. I think it's time for them to kind of move on and move to a different chapter in their life. But it's sad to see him go, man. Because I remember when Overeem first got into the UFC, I was watching him back when he was like in his early 20s in the K1 and scrapping. Then I remember Junior Dos Santos fighting for the title. Oh my goodness, it's been a while. They had a freaking good run, man. Freaking good run.
Yeah, it was really incredible. I know it was surprising, particularly in Alistair's case, because he was just on like a 2-fight winning streak not too long ago. So
yeah.
But, hopefully future Hall of Famers there. But let's talk about you, of course. You've been making this push to fight Kamaru Usman. You're the only person in the welterweight top 5 that he hasn't faced yet. You've actually been getting a lot of support on social media from a lot of the fans that I've been seeing. As of right now, do you know if you're in talks? What are the odds of this fight with Kamaru Usman actually coming together?
At this point, I have no idea. I mean, a lot of the guys in the top 5 that are ranked above me are keeping my name out their mouth. They're not saying a whole lot about me. I'm trying to push for this fight with Kamaru Usman. He's faced everybody, like you said, that's ranked above me, and I'm the only one that he hadn't fought yet. I think it would be a great fight, and definitely a great matchup for sure. The striker versus the wrestler, and the way that Kamaru Usman's been fighting, he's been doing a lot of stand up, but I do believe that he's going to be changing gears up with me. He's definitely going to look to get me to the cage or get me to the ground, one or the other. But I think it would just be a great matchup. And I know I've got the skills to win. And of course, I told you guys after my last fight, 2021 is going to be my year. I want to be champ, baby. But the fans are wanting to see this fight. So I'm excited to see that. That always puts a smile on my face. The interviews and everything that's been going on, everybody's like, fight Wonderboy, fight Wonderboy. So, yeah, man, definitely puts a smile on my face. But I don't know if there's any talks yet. I haven't heard a thing. I know he's wanting to fight Jorge Masvidal. Ooh, that was Jorge Masvidal's last fight. I mean, come on, man. But yeah, man. Hopefully, we'll get this thing going.
Yeah, I know. I'm obviously one of those fans that would love to see this fight. I think the reason why a lot of at least people that know the sport a little bit better want to see the fight between you and Kamaru is because they know that Kamaru really hasn't faced somebody like you yet, and it's hard to prepare for your style because you're very unorthodox in the way that you strike in comparison to a lot of the welterweights. But on that subject, how do you think a fight between you and Kamaru would go? Do you have any predictions with how your styles would match up together?
It would definitely be, obviously, I think he's going to try and get me to the floor. I think he'll spend a lot of his energy to try to get me to the ground. I know he's got cardio for days, so I know the guy's not going to get tired. So neither do I, man. I can go all day long. I've got the top, I think I'm ranked number 3 in the welterweight division for takedown defense. So I know my takedown defense is on point. I've got great guys here to help me with that. So it will be the battle of, if this guy's going to take me down, if I'm going to keep the fight standing, that's the battle right there. It's going to be timing on my part. And for him, it's going to be timing to try and get that shot or get me to the cage. And in those exchanges is where I feel like I can land my shots, on the break, on the inside, when he's coming in. I got the explosiveness and the timing to do so. So, yeah, obviously I got myself winning that fight. I know he'll say the same. He thinks he's going to win the fight, but I know I can finish him.
Yeah, that's I'll finish him. I haven't heard that yet, but you touched on Jorge Masvidal, trying to get this fight now, and Usman, of course, shouted him out. He saw a big payday last time. It makes sense from his point of view. Would it annoy you, though, if Masvidal does end up getting this fight? As you said, he just fought for the belt. It wasn't necessarily close the first time we saw it. Like, that must irk you, right, if they give this fight to Masvidal?
I mean, if they do give the fight to Masvidal, I mean, it would be disappointing for sure because everybody knows how that fight's going to go. I do believe that Jorge Masvidal with a little bit better cardio, I think he could win that fight. And if he wins that fight, he mentioned, wanted to defend it against me. So either way, it's a win-win. If he doesn't win, put me up next. I mean, he hasn't fought anybody like me. And if Jorge Masvidal wins, he said he wanted to defend it against me. So there you go. So either way, hopefully we'll get a title shot. So, I mean, I'm not too beat up about it. The way the UFC is going, I know they're looking for the most hyped fight at this point, which fights make sense, which fight's going to push money. And Jorge Masvidal is one of the most popular guys in the UFC at the moment. And, but he's wanting to fight in September. I saw somewhere, which is like a year, a long time from now. Come on. So, yeah, man, I'm just keeping my fingers crossed, and hopefully we'll hear something, and hopefully we'll get the fans behind it, and we'll get this fight going.
Yeah, definitely. Very hopeful that fight ends up happening. But of course, if it doesn't, I know you've been pushing just to fight really anyone ranked ahead of you. Your last 2 fights, you fought contenders significantly below you, and you beat them both very soundly. Very impressive fights, both of them. Do you have any preferences in the top 5? Gilbert Burns, Colby Covington, anyone that sticks out to you if you don't get this Usman fight?
Yeah, man. I mean, everybody that's ranked above me at this point makes sense for me. I mean, Colby Covington, yes, he's a great wrestler, very similar to Usman, so that would be a good push if we get that fight. And if I can't get anybody in the top 5, I mean, give me somebody with a name. Give me Nate Diaz. I mean, the guy's a beast. He's a monster. I know he's looking to fight at the same time. I'm looking to come back. Had some hand injuries. Yeah, man, not September, May. April, May is like the time I'm looking to fight. So I know he's looking around that same time. So anybody ranked above me, I think Colby would be great. I'm looking at the Leon Edwards fight very closely. So I think it will be a good fight for him both. I mean, Muhammad, it's a win-win for him, to be honest with you. I mean, he's got really nothing to lose working his way up and trying to fight somebody significantly ranked higher than him. So good for him to go out there and try and make this fight happen. Of course, I tried to get that fight with Leon Edwards. He was like, it was a little too soon for me to come back. So I'll be watching that fight very closely. And hopefully if he gets a win, or if Muhammad gets a win, if he, moves up in his spot, we'll get a fight. But anybody in the top 5 can get it. Nate Diaz too. If he wants to fight, give me somebody with a name. That would be awesome.
Definitely. Yeah, I was going to ask you a little bit about the whole Leon Edwards situation. Were you contacted to fill in for that fight, or did you kind of write yourself off as soon as you knew that he wanted to stay in March because of your hand injury?
Yeah, I kind of wrote myself off. I knew I wouldn't be ready in time. He wanted to fight on that same day, which makes sense. I mean, he's been training hard for it. Yeah, I mean, I put my name out there on social media. Hey, I'll do the fight if we could do it in April or May. He was like, nah, I'm going to keep it with March. So even because we're managed by the same management company. Mm-hmm. And one of my managers was like, hey, man, if you'll be ready, that'll be a great fight. I was like, I don't think I'll be ready. So I kind of had to put myself off the table just to make sure I'm 100%. I'm 38 years old, and I don't want to go out there and jump the gun too soon. And next thing you know, I'll be out for a long period of time. So I was out for a year last year with the same injury, the hand. After this last fight with Jeff Neal, kind of irritated the broken hand. So I'm still getting some physical therapy done with it. And hopefully we'll be back in there in April or May.
Yeah, I did want to ask about that because it was the same injury from the hand that you injured in the Vicente Luque fight, correct?
Yes, my right hand. Before the fight, it was great. I was able to make a fist, was able to do a lot of mid work, hit the bag, spar was great, had no issues. And then after the fight, the Jeff Neal fight, it was like a few days afterwards, I was like, man, why is my hand tightening up again? It's like the tendons around my index finger, the knuckle, that is tightening up, and I can't make a solid fist. And it's very, very, very tender. So saw the hand doctor. He thinks I may have torn a ligament in that knuckle. So got an MRI last week. Hope we'll find out here pretty soon what the damage is. If there is no damage, great. I just got to do some physical therapy. So hopefully I'm keeping my fingers crossed, man. I hope I don't have to have any more surgeries. No more surgeries. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, no, that would suck right now to have a surgery when you're just on the verge of this big fight.
I know.
I wanted to switch gears a little bit because we actually just spoke to Chase Hooper a couple of days ago. Great friend of the show. We love Chase Hooper. He came down recently to train with you. Is that correct? Could you?
Yes, man. I love that kid to death, dude. We played some Call of Duty as well while he was here. He was literally staying in a spot across the street, which wasn't the best spot to stay in. I was like, man, you don't have to stay there. You can stay at my place. He's like, man, I've stayed in worse. I'm like, okay. But he would come over to the house, and I had a little gaming center set up for him. So we played some Modern Warfare, some Warzone. But great training, man. I know that's one thing he's wanted to work on is his striking. And he was here for 3 weeks, and we still just kind of like, barely touched the surface with him. Like, I think we can get so much more out of him. He's taller than I am. Really? He's a 145er. Yeah. He's like almost, I think he's about 6'1". I'm like a little over 6 foot and a 145. I'm like, dude, I was like, you'll be a 145 for a little bit, but you're not done growing. I mean, he'll probably be a 155er, but his jiu-jitsu is just on another level, man. He's so good. And when he comes here and he watches you, you can tell he's just thinking, he's soaking everything up. And from the very first day when he got here to the end of to the last sparring session, huge difference, leaps and bounds from when he first came. So I think he had a great time, man, and learned a lot. I learned a lot from him too, but just a great dude, great kid, man. He's 21.
I know, that's incredible.
He's 21 in the UFC. I'm like, God, I was 28 by the time I got there, I'm like, dude, that's so awesome. That's so awesome. But the thing is with him, for a young guy like that, is to get through his career with less damage, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that he's come to us. A lot of guys like Ryan Hall, who he's trained with, kind of mentioned us. So he took their advice. And my goal is to help him with the movement, with the style, for him not to take as much damage. And hopefully by the time he retires or, he's done fighting, he hasn't taken too much of that, too many hits,
Yeah, definitely. That must have been awesome getting some training in with him. Real quick, before I let you go here, we have some massive fights this weekend. I'm sure you'll be watching. I wanted to get your predictions for the 3 title fights. We have Jan versus Sterling, Anderson versus Nunes, and Adesanya versus Blachowicz. Real quick, like lightning round. Who do you have for each of those fights?
For the Coco, man, I'm going to go for my man, Aljamain, baby. Aljamain is just, he's an amazing fighter. Jan's got great boxing, but I think Aljamain's wrestling, he's able to put everything all together, and he's a strong grappler, and he's got great striking. Like, he's got the whole package. So I'm going for my man, Aljamain Sterling. For the co-main event, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go Megan Anderson. Okay. I'm going to go Megan, man. I think she's got the skills to do what it takes to really, really, really take it to Nunes and give her a different look. She's very tall, very big opponent. And from watching Nunes in her last few fights, I feel like she wasn't like she used to be. I don't know if it's just because of the time off she's had, before each fight, but she just doesn't seem the same. And I kind of see that as she moves to the next fight. She's just not as fast. Maybe her timing's off. I don't know what it is, but I think Megan Anderson has the skills to take her. And for the main event, I think it's a great fight, and super excited to see somebody like, Style Bender go up to another level, because, he was doing work in the 185 division. It's like, man, he's been piecing these guys up. I think his hardest fight to date was the Kelvin Gastelum fight. Mm-hmm. I think that was his, but since then he's just been crushing dudes, and I'm glad he's moved up, because I really want to see what he's capable of. For him moving up for a bigger opponent, he definitely has the skills to outstrike Jan and Blachowicz. I know he's a big fighter. He's a bigger guy, but I think Stylebender Adesanya is intelligent with what he's going for. Most guys think I should put on a lot more weight to go up to that weight class. Like Luke Rockhold had that. He did that. He was like, I'm going to put on a lot of weight, go up and fight Jan. And he was tremendously slow. And it takes some time to be able to move that weight around and have the cardio to do so. And he got knocked out. Adesanya is not putting on any weight. He's going to go in there the size that he is, that he's normally. Obviously, he's not going in at 185. He's going in at the weight he normally walks around and trains at, which I think is smart. And I think he's got the best timing. I think he's got counter striking is a lot better. His takedown defense is great. Yeah, I think all he's got is the bigger size, Jan. Adesanya, I think he's going to win. I got him winning.
All right, there we go. Well, I'm sure everyone in the comments will let you know if they agree or not with your picks there.
Yeah, man. Let me know. Let us know in the comments, guys, right now. Let's go.
And I actually lied, because I did want to ask you one final question. Your YouTube channel, you almost hit 300,000 subscribers. It's been growing. We've been talking about this every time we get together. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about what it means to almost hit 300,000 and give us a sales pitch. Why should everyone watching go and subscribe right now?
Yeah, man. All right, guys. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, me and my brother Sweet Tea. We have our own YouTube channel. It's a great place to go to build techniques. I got a lot of people asking me how I do my techniques, how I do my movement. I break it down step by step. We also go over fights. We break down fights, knockouts. We have a great time, man. We get sparring sessions in with Chris Weidman from all over the place. This is the quality channel. We have a great time doing it. We have a blast, man. And we just do it for the fun of it. We're almost at 300,000 subscribers. So go on there, subscribe to myself, and of course, subscribe to this guy right here. Make sure you guys go check this guy out. He's awesome.
Of course. We'll definitely leave that in the description below. Make sure everyone gets you to 300K as soon as possible. Yeah, that's all the questions I have. So Stephen, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you again. We hope you get the big fight that you deserve here. Hopefully we can help you out with that in any way that we can. Thank you so much, my friend. Always a pleasure chatting with you, and I hope you have a good one. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Make sure to subscribe if you like this content, and leave a like on this video. Stephen, thanks again. It's always a pleasure. Anytime, brother. You have a good one, brother. Hey guys, it's Erik from Full Mount MMA. Check out some of our other videos, and if you like that content, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so you never miss an update.